Hey everybody, I'm Coach T, here to help you build your art muscles one lesson at a time. In this video, we're going to be drawing a jack-o'-lantern. For this project, you're going to need a piece of paper, a pencil, a Sharpie or black marker, and crayons. Side note, you can color with any material that you have available to you, but if you have crayons and if you are feeling brave enough to try something new, I'll be showing you a special blending technique that will really make your jack-o'-lantern pop off the page. It's super cool, but it's also kind of hard. Luckily, you grow the most when you try hard things. So, take a deep breath, go get your materials, tell yourself you're amazing, and let's get started. To start our jack-o'-lanterns, what we're going to do is plan the first shape, which is going to be an oval-ish, potato-ish shape, very organic looking. And because I want to think about composition, where my pumpkin is placed on my paper, I want to think of how big it's going to be and where it's going to start and stop. So I'm going to use my 3 fingers up top to make a starter dot, and maybe 2-ish fingers at the bottom to show where my pumpkin will sit. I'm going to imagine that there is an invisible line going along the bottom of my page, and that's where my pumpkin's going to sit. I don't want my shapes going below that line, unless my pumpkin has superpowers and can sink above and below the surface of the ground. Mine doesn't. It's going to sit right on top like that. So, before I draw my ovalish shape, I'm going to practice. And you're going to notice I'm using my eraser side to practice. I'm going to be using the eraser tracer technique to plan out my first shape, just in case I make a mistake and don't want to have to waste time erasing. You can try that too if you're feeling nervous about making a mark on the page. First, we start by going around and around, just like you do soccer warm-ups and basketball dribbles to get yourself ready for sports, if that's what you play. You gotta do some warm-ups before you make art. Around and around you go. I feel ready, so I'm gonna press, out to the side, down, slow and controlled, come in, and back up. Sometimes it's harder to go up, so you can stop and start from the top if you want. I'm pleased with this shape here, so I'm going to turn my pencil sideways. I have an odd pencil grip. There is no right, there is no wrong. There's just what's comfortable for you. I like holding my pencil a bit sideways because it makes sure I don't press hard on my paper. We don't want to hulk out here, people. Be gentle. Glide. I'm going to use the side of my pencil to glide around. If you are satisfied with your ovalish, potato-ish shape, you can just get rid of that eraser crusty stuff, and you're good to go. Now, if you're not happy, don't erase your mistakes. Face those mistakes. If you erase it, what's to say you won't do the exact same thing? So draw around an area you don't like, and then erase the other part. Got it, got it. Got it. Now we're going to build out and around to the side. And again, I like to know where I'm going to stop and start. So I'm going to make a starter dot and a stopper dot near the top side of my pumpkin. We're not going to the north and south pole of our pumpkins here, people. Just the top side, bottom side. Top side, bottom side. Now, I'm going to start by going horizontally out. I'm not going to hook it up and over like a candy cane. Think out, down, in, and close. Let's see what that looks like. Again, don't be shy. Use your eraser tracer trick if you want to practice first. Awesome. I'm going to add just a couple of more starter and stopper dots to make one more layer of my pumpkin. Remember, it's out, kind of diagonalish in, and horizontal for the close. Horizontal, diagonalish out, diagonalish in, horizontal close. And then wipe away any eraser crusties. Ooh, that's a nice looking organic pumpkin there. And see this little spot here? Maybe I don't like that. I'm going to fix it by just changing my line, then erasing the part I don't like. Face your mistakes, edit as you go. Now it's time for the stem. I'm going to start with just kind of a curved line down, diagonal up, and another curved line back down. Cool. Maybe you can add a leaf right here if you want. You don't have to. Maybe I will. Starter dot, stopper dot, curve out and in, curve out and in. Look at that cutie patootie. Maybe we could even add a vine. Let's see. A loop-de-loop line up, ha. Ooh, cool. I want one on the other side too. Now that the outline, the contour of my pumpkin is finished, it's time to add shapes to make this pumpkin a jack-o'-lantern. We are going to be using triangles for the eyes and nose, and some curved lines and horizontal and vertical lines for our mouth. I like to plan where everything's going to go before I do it to make sure I have room. I think I'm going to start down here with my mouth and work my way up. If you want to do this the other way, top to bottom, it's totally your call. Give it a watch first though. See what's comfortable for you. I'm going to start by practicing where I want my jack-o'-lantern smile. Again, I think I'm just going to start here, end here. I am a fan of the starter and stopper dots. And then here, that's just a gentle curved line. If you have trouble drawing it like this, go ahead and turn your paper. Try to draw it this way. You can always turn your page. Now I'm going to turn it back. Oh, it looks like a silly smiling pumpkin. Remember to go soft and gentle as you press down. We're going to close this smile with a gentle, curved line. Yes. Now it's time for the nose. I'm going to put my nose maybe one finger above my mouth. Keep in mind, my one finger might be bigger than yours, so you might want to use 1.5 or 2. Totally up to you, buddies. You are the artist. You choose. Little horizontal line for the bottom of my nose. Diagonal this way. Diagonal that way. And then I'm going to make 2 eyes. I want my eyes to be a little bigger than my nose. So I'm going to see, all right, it was 2 fingers wide there. Maybe there'll be 2.5 up here. I'm going to place it so it's along the top of my nose. Let's measure. 2 and about 1/2. 2 and about 1/2. Awesome. It looks like a sleeping happy pumpkin. Very silly. Let's add those diagonal lines next. I want you to take notice of your speed. Are you going slow? Are you speeding through it? Take your time, young artists. It's never a race. Artists work at their own pace. I've got some lines to erase here. So see these going right through my eyes? We have cut these little pieces out of our pumpkin, so we don't need those lines anymore, so you can erase them. It'll give you the illusion, the trick of the eye, that you've taken away this part of your pumpkin. See? So cool. Now we've got to add some teeth to the bottom of our pumpkin. We're going to be using some vertical lines that go up and down and horizontal lines to create these teeth. Here we go. Vertical down, maybe 1.5 fingers apart. Vertical down, horizontal across. And see that top line? Let's just go ahead and erase that right now. Awesome. I'm going to go over to this side of the nose. Vertical down. Vertical down. Horizontal across-ish. And erase that line. Ooh, it's coming along. I accidentally erased this one, so I'm going to fix that a little here. There we go. And then we need the bottom tooth. Vertical. Vertical. Horizontal. And see that one down there? Erase, erase, erase. So awesome! My friends, if you're feeling super brave, we're going to add some extra lines on the inside of our jack-o'-lantern face to give it a 3D-ish look. We're going to just follow this line. We're going to echo it, which means repeat it right next door. If you want, you could use your nail, maybe a pinky nail apart. Don't put your lines too close together. It'll look too crowded. So, follow this line and do the same one whoosh, right next to it. Huzzah! Same thing on this side. Diagonal down. Excellent. Same thing for the nose. The jack-o'-lantern's starting to pop. Next, we've got a hard part, the mouth. We're first going to add a little 3D element to this bottom tooth, and that means we're going to go very gentle. A very gentle diagonal down. Diagonal down. And then close the top with a horizontal line. Awesome. The hardest part is coming, and I'm going to turn my page to do this. I'm going to use a starter and stopper dot. We're going to go in the middle of these two to start, and down here in the middle there. Same thing on the other side, and up there. What we're going to do is echo our smile line. So we're going to create a curved line. I have trouble with my wrist moving sideways, so I'm going to turn my page, practice my line. Maybe I'll even do it with my eraser. Okay, I know where to go. Follow that line. Doesn't have to be perfect. You're not machines here, people. Same thing on the other side. Erase first. Follow that line. Excellent. Now you can get rid of those crusties. Look at that jack-o'-lantern smiling. Oh, magical. My friends, if you have a black marker, now is the time to trace. Quick tip. To show some contrast, I am going to be using a thin Sharpie for the inner lines I made, but the rest of it, I'm going to use my thick Sharpie. I'll see you when I'm done. Now that I've finished tracing, it's time to start coloring. I'm going to be using crayons, but if you want to use markers, color, pencils, whatever materials you have available, you do you, boo. Just go slow and careful to create a crisp, nicely careful colored jack-o'-lantern. Let's talk first about these colors. You're going to see I have a lot of these yellow, oranges, and reds here, the warm colors. Yellow, orange, and red are next to each other on the color wheel, and they have little colors in between them, yellow, orange, red, orange, even scarlet. These colors, because they're all neighbors next to each other on the color wheel, they're called analogous colors. That means they're similar to each other and they blend really well. We are going to be starting with yellow to give our pumpkin or jack-o'-lantern a nice glow from within. See these little empty spots here? Well, it's all empty right now, but we're going to be focused on these empty spots first. Follow my lead. Go slow. Instead of going up and down and side to side, imagine you're drawing teeny tiny circles with gentle pressure. You don't need to hulk out yet here, people. Be gentle with your crayons. Careful, patient coloring. Here we go. First, these little spots inside the eyes. Next, the nose. And then we're going to go inside the mouth. It's not comfortable for me to draw sideways like this, so I'm going to turn my paper, nothing wrong with turning, my friends, and draw in here. Now, I'm going to actually cover this little spot here so I don't forget. I don't want to color parts that I don't want to color. Voila! We've got the glow, people. Next, I normally might try my yellow-orange, but I'm going to skip it and go straight to my orange to color in the spaces next to the yellow. Awesome! Now, here's where I'm going to go back and take my yellow-orange. I like my color to be robust, full, no empty spaces behind it, so I'm going to put another layer right over that orange. In real life, it just makes it pop a bit more and makes the color look so nice and bright. Lovely. Next, I'm going to take my red-orange. I'm going to add this all the way around in a gentle layer at first. I am going to be going over it with my lighter colors to give that nice full look. But I'm going to start with my darker orange, the red-orange, because I want it to contrast, to make my other colors stand out. So we're going from lightest to darkest. Let's see what it looks like. I'm going to start gently on this section here. I'm going to draw a little darker near the creases, and then I'm going to go lighter near the edges. See that? Harder near the creases, medium pressure, light near the edge. And you'll notice I'm not coloring the whole thing all at once. That doesn't work to make it nice and consistent and unified. Go in small areas at first. Slow and steady will win the race. But we're not trying to win anything. We're just trying to color a nice jack-o'-lantern. Now we're going to do this part. I've got to be careful not to color over my eyes. Hard near the crease, gentle near the edges. Hard near the crease, gentle near the edges. Good. I'm going to do the same thing on this side, but again, it's much easier for me to draw this way because I write with my right hand. If you're a lefty and you want to start on this side, go for it. I'm going to turn my pumpkin over and color in these two sections the same way. Finally, we're going to do the centerpiece. Be careful to stay inside your lines, a little harder near the edges, a little lighter near the center, but not around the nose. It's going to be a little darker around the nose. I am feeling really good about my pumpkin so far, but I want to make that color look a bit more robust. So I'm going to go back in with my yellow-orange and add another layer over the entire thing. I'm pressing gently, not too hard and not too light. I want it to create a glow. I want to pause here so you can see the difference between my first layer with my red-orange and my second layer of yellow-orange. See how the color is just a bit more full, a bit more bright? That's why I like to layer and blend. It makes the colors really work together and pop out. These colors are buddies. They're analogous neighbors after all. They like to make each other stand out, blend, and create beautiful looks for our little eyes. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is add greens to my leaf and stem. I'm going to start with a light layer this time. And I'm going to go over it just a little bit at the bottom, gently at first. Remember, hard near the crease, gentle in the middle. This creates a little bit of a shadowy effect. Ah, yes. Lovely. Harder near the crease. Build up that pressure slow. I'm loving it. Next, my friends, we have one final layer of color. And that is going to be black. This pumpkin is glowing at night. So we want to make this outer layer appear as though it is in shadow. If you want to get a scrap piece of paper and practice coloring really, really lightly with your black first, like this, so gentle, little circles. This is your fuzzy shadow layer. It's not this. No. Yes. Got it. It's a gentle, slow shadow build. Very light. You're going to build a special shadow, and I'm going to show you where. We're going to start along the creases, just like this. Very light. Bring that shadow out and back in. Out and back in. Whole way down. Excellent. See how that really starting to pop? Amazing. Let's add another layer. Now inside, you're going to want to be super careful around your jack-o'-lantern face. And you want it to be darkest around those eyes, nose, and mouth. So you're going to color kind of on that dark line you drew. Okay? Not around it, but on it and next to it. That's going to really make your pumpkin pop, pop, pop. Notice I'm drawing in the same direction as well. That's going to give your work consistency, which makes it look similar and even across. You'll notice I spend a little more time adding layers very lightly near the creases and not so much near the edges, because these round pieces and sections of my pumpkin are outwards towards the light. And when you find a crease like in between my wrinkly fingers here, you see it's darker. The light is hitting here. The darkness is in the crease, just like my pumpkin. So you can keep adding slowly, slow and steady, my friends. Remember, start simple, build slow. I'm going to turn my paper over again and do the same thing on the outer two sections before I go for my big centerpiece. Friends, we are almost finished. It is time to do the centerpiece. What I want you to notice is that I have been coloring with the curve of each section, and that's the same thing for the centerpiece. So as you go down from the sides, it's a little easier because this is the natural way our hand moves. But when we go up to the top, it can get easy to scribble. So again, turn your page, color with the curve. Gentle build. You can always add more, but it's very difficult to subtract. Slow build. You got this. Now that's a lovely jack-o'-lantern right there. If any of you are feeling a little nervous about the black, or you feel like something is lacking from your pumpkin, go ahead and grab your scarlet or red and add to the darker creases of your pumpkin. Don't be shy about layering these colors on top of each other. Analogous colors, colors that are next to each other on the color wheel, work together to make each other blend, bright, bold and beautiful. A lot of alliteration right there. And if you feel like something's missing, like you can still see little scratchy white parts through your crayon, don't be shy. Go back to the yellow, the brightest color, and add a little layer of that over the whole thing. See how that changes and adds to the color. Don't worry. Be an experimenter. Be an explorer. It's just crayons on paper, after all. Give yourself a pat on the back. You have just completed a jack-o'-lantern. I hope you had fun drawing this jack-o'-lantern with me. And if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and click that like and subscribe button so you don't miss the next tutorial. For my more advanced artists out there, I challenge you to try this next video where I show you how to use blending to make your pumpkin look 3D. Until next time, remember, you are amazing, you are mindful, you are creative, you are strong, and you are an artist. Happy creating, everyone.